welcome to Random Story Maxine. It's a Wednesday edition. I know how we do it on a Wednesday, okay? So today I have a guest. Nowadays, I don't really tell you what my plans for the next day is, so I keep on springing surprises, and this is one of the days I decide to bring a surprise on you guys, and I hope you are doing well, keeping safe, observing all the safety protocols, and Charlie, it's good to be alive, Charlie. Be thankful for life, you don't know. I wake up, you're not feeling too well, then you find it needful to say thank you, but all things being equal, we are just grateful for life, and it's a Wednesday. Random Thought with Maxine, it's time. Let's do this. So welcome back. What are we talking this morning? So I don't know, but I think we all like them for the counsel they give us. We like them for the charism they possess. We like the fact that we can call on them and say, can you share prayer with me? I'm not feeling too well. Or my issue is this, I need a job. Can you say this? Can you do that? But when it comes to whether or not we want to date a Christian guy, you don't seem to be all excited about it. I have said it on the show not once, not twice, and people thought like, Charlie, me, I'm here about nothing. They're not at all. But you know, they say you experience something, one, two, no, then you do your conclusions. This morning, I'm honored to have in the studio a friend. And I'm like, Ken, can you come over to the studio? Because we have had this conversation back door before. So can we make it public and tell all our listeners? So Ken is love of the Lord. Love the Lord, is in the Lord's vineyard, working 24/7 for Nyami. And he's a fine boy too. And I'm like, Ken, can we come to the studio this morning and talk what exactly the problem is, the misconceptions, the ideals that we think we want to see, but unfortunately we are not seeing. So can we say hello to my listeners and viewers, and then we'll kickstart the conversation. Say hello. Hello. So this is Ken, and together we are doing this. Okay. So you know how it is. I went to a mixed school, Accra High School to be precise. And you know how it feels like, okay, when you're in a class with guys that you don't like, and you like other guys from other school, then the guys will be talking plenty, but I didn't get, but it hurts. Ken, how does it feel like when the same women, the same girls you work with in the same vineyard, all working for God, towards the kingdom, tell you that he's a brother, so I honestly do not like him? Or the Christian brothers, they are some way. How does it hurt?
Well, it's obviously not a pleasant thing.
Okay.
It's obviously not a pleasant thing, because obviously if a Christian brother sports a lady, and you're very sure, usually you know that with Christian brothers they want to go through a process of meditating, reflecting on it and praying on it and everything. So after going through all of that cycle, if you're denied, or you're denied the opportunity to be with a Christian sister, it's obviously not a pleasant thing.
Okay.
But you know that most of the time we preach that God has a reason for everything. And so sometimes, even though it's a bitter pill to swallow, you still have to take it in good faith. Keep your composure and still give your people an impression that Charlie God did.
You are fine, You are fine. Yeah. So is there a point that you got bounced, not once, not twice, and you still kept your composure? And at the end of the day, you ask yourself, why did she say no? Where did I go wrong? Hey, what does she like? What is she looking for?
It's a very difficult question, though.
It is.
It is. Because, obviously, if you are not given an opportunity to be with someone that you want to be with, the best thing to do is to withdraw. I mean, come back and do an assess. Sometimes you see, it's not just because you're your Christian brother, and that's why, or you're Crefe, and that's why. Sometimes you need to check your approach.
Okay.
You see, one of the challenges that a lot of Christian brothers have, which I have identified over the period, is that sometimes we're too straightforward with
Oh,
the way we go about.
like example.
You see, you want to do everything official.
Okay.
You see, a lot of Christian brothers are too official
Mm.
with, and dating and relationships are social in nature to some extent. You see, so there's supposed to be a need to have a blend
Okay.
of. I mean, when there's a need to be formal and official about things, you have to do that. But as much as possible, you need to be as friendly, as open, and as social as possible.
Okay, sure.
You know, so usually you would have to do an assessment of your approach
Mm-hmm.
and see whether you got the approach right or not. If you didn't get it right, then like we say in Ghana, you visit the drawing board, or you visit the drawing board, and then you do some adjustments so that going forward you get it right.
Okay. So you go to the drawing board, do adjustment, get it right.
And then
But
come
you
back.
and come back. Do you always come back?
Sometimes
Okay.
it depends. It depends on a number of factors. But
Okay.
I mean, if the lady is still available, she's still not dating, and you're certain that she's the one that you want, then there's a need to come back. Sometimes we get denied for reasons that can be worked on, like I'm saying. So
Okay.
once you can work on that, if it's just an issue of getting the approach wrong, then you can come back. But if it's an issue of the lady not interested in you as in your person,
Yeah.
then that's a difficult matter. But if it's just about the approach and it's about the way you went about it and the people that got involved and all of those other, I mean, those things can be worked on, and then you come back.
All right. So this morning we are talking how difficult is it for a Christian lady? And you know, we all like, oh, he's God fearing. I have said this over the period. That this God fearing thing, me sometimes I think it's a scam or all under the guise of God fearing, and then you give in and only to test the variables that the God fearing crown no, it's not correct like that. But do you think ordinarily there are ladies who still set out to look for guys who are after God's own heart, who are working for God, who are diligent about the things of God? Or is this like you have lost your grip on the ladies?
Well, last time I checked, a lot of ladies still want God-fearing people.
They do?
I think so. Last time I checked, a number of ladies.
Your church or your circle of friends? Cause me, I don't know.
Well, to be honest with you, like I'm saying, I mean, last time I checked, a lot of people will put God-fearing guys or men on their list. I mean, they want to have someone who is God. But you see, let me go back to this. I've always had a course to explain the concept of having a God-fearing or a Christian brother.
Okay.
You see, for a lot of young people, we think that to have someone who is constantly in church, someone who is a tongue-speaking Christian, somebody who can stand for long hours to pray, and all. So we look at the outward appearance. But when we look at the concept of a Christian, I usually would even say a Christian because a Christian automatically must be God-fearing.
Yeah.
So when you look at the concept of a Christian, it goes beyond the outward things that we see.
Okay.
So if you're judging a God-fearing person based on the things that you see him do for God and the church, then you may be getting it wrong. Let me give you a classic example.
Do.
You see, a lot of churches today use audio-visual stuff. We do projection, we do sound, we do Facebook Live and all of those things. You could have a guy who is naturally gifted and has a flair for technical sound, audio stuff. And so if you have a church that has a properly set up unit for these things, you're likely to have this guy stay in church almost all day, especially for the busy churches that do mass, that do services, revivals all night. This guy will be in church all the time. He's simply in church because he loves what he does and he's a technical person and he's helping. That does not translate into a God-fearing person, a Christian.
Okay.
You get it? So the concept of being a Christian or having a God-fearing guy must be put in perspective.
Okay.
So that if you get the right person, if you get somebody who is genuinely God-fearing, then you hit the jackpot.
All right. So God-fearing must be tested.
Yes.
It's not always about the outward. So can we see the outward? Can we test the outward and see that, okay, A and B, C, D, and E. Now, I said this over again some time back, and I was saying that there are a lot of misconception about what it is like dating a Christian guy, especially those guys who work for God and all that. One, they are boring, I think. I honestly think so. They are boring. Unless it's here, I don't know, unless it's smiling back and forth like that. And the first time I met Ken, it was just like official, right?
Yes.
It was just official. And I didn't know anything that he was osofo or he was into the. But if I had seen a profile of Ken that says that crazy about the things of Jesus, I might probably have giddy, be on the next available flight. But I thought, okay, his interpersonal skills is not too bad. But what is it about Christian guys and being boring? I don't get it. Now, you are boring to the some are boring to the core.
Yes, true. You remember I started by saying that some people are too official when it comes to dealing with relationships and so I agree. I agree to a very large extent. I noticed that a lot of Christian brothers make Christianity, the whole idea of religion and Christianity, too official and boring. You see, and that is a problem. And I think that it is something that we need to check. It is something that Christian brothers must check. I usually tell people that, you see, the way the Pharisees crucified Jesus and they called him name, they called him a glutton, they called him a drunkard, and all of those things. That gives me an impression that Jesus Christ wasn't a boring person.
Yeah.
Because you see, when you study the scriptures to a certain level, you notice that generally Jesus Christ was a fun person to be with. In fact, let me not be too technical, but when you study the entire book of Luke, the Gospel according to Luke, one of the major things that you can get out of the lifestyle or personality of Jesus Christ was that he was a party freak. Check throughout.
Was attending weddings and things.
Attending weddings, turning water into wine. He was eating, dining, and whining with
all over the place.
And that is why even the Pharisees said that John the Baptist was not like this. He was in the bush, he was in the wilderness, praying and fasting and wearing all kinds of clothes. This man isn't like that. He can't be the Messiah. You see, so I believe that is a misconception. Being Christian must not be boring. It must not be boring. And you see, we find ourselves in a time where young people are used to enjoying social life in a certain way. And so if you are not fun to be with, no matter how crave you are, you may not attract certain kinds of ladies. And you see, a lady that is fun to be with is not a bad lady.
Oh, please say that again.
See, the perception is that this person is too out there, this person is too lively, this person is too... That in itself is not bad. You see, so we need to set the parameters right.
But you see, honestly, I don't know whether there is a scriptural manual for all the guys who wait. I mean, like you can't differentiate between X as a variable and Y as like they are all like X.
I don't think
you don't think so, eh?
I don't think
so.
So.
I beg to differ. You know, the only time you find a Christian guy funky, cool, smooth is when you talk to them and they had a history. Like typical guy who had been in the world some time back and then come to know Jesus and is like resolved to
my response to this is that, you see, there's always a very thin line between being out there and being Christian. And most of the time you find a lot of the Christian guys struggling to distinguish or to find a difference between the two. You see, we want to be fun to a very large extent, but you want to do it in a manner that you don't paint a bad impression a bad impression. Yes, I believe so. You see, a lot of people want to be, but you see, in a part of the world, we are judged by what people see. And so And so if you take a lady out on a date, you visit a restaurant, you go to a cool place and you're enjoying some good music and you're eating and talking, and another Christian brother or sister say, hey, those of us chop some lady in one corner. You know,
Yeah.
this was also that he's preaching to us. If he goes out with
doing his
ladies,
own thing, yeah.
So people try very hard to shy away from getting these kinds of reactions and comments from people. And that is why most of the time you see that Christian brothers are very official and they try to avoid going to certain places and doing certain kinds
And
of
is
things.
that not hypocritical? I mean, ideally, you would want to go out. You want to catch some fun. I mean, this is a girl you've met. The person is all bubbly. They have energy. And then you are dimming their light. Now, I can't be dancing my dance before because now I'm with sweet brother. So and so who is praying and doing sus. And,
For me, being hypocritical,
it's difficult
for
too.
me, being hypocritical is relative.
You think
I
so?
think it's relative. You see, I usually would tell people that if I would have to pretend to be something to get other people to do the right thing, I think that is for the right cause. I'll do it.
Are you kidding me?
I'm telling you, yes.
No,
Because you see, whether you like it or not,
See
we
how
find
Alex is
ourselves-
happy.
We find ourselves in a time where people act, react, and behave by the standards of other people. A lot of Christians look up to their ministers, their pastors, their priests, their leaders, their shepherds, and they act like them. And that is why these days you see people doing their hair like their priests, people talking and praying like their priests. You see, so if I am supposed to act in a certain way so that my followers will act right, if you consider that as hypocritical, I will do it so that my followers will act right.
And you see, and that's the part that I honestly find a bit difficult to comprehend. That is there a point, or I think we've come to a point where we've lost our humanness. Okay, that we are human beings. We have life. We are not supposed to live anyhow because I mean, for us, the standard as Christians is high. There's no way you can lower the standard, and it must reflect even in your dating. But don't you think that over the period, we are all fixated on acting right? Who is watching? Who is looking? Like you like the no, you like the girl. You ordinarily want to put your hand around her neck, but you see, once you put your hand, pastor is fornicating, and so let me not put my. But you in the room, you put your hand around her neck, which is more hypocritical.
You see,
Get the bashing outside or get the bashing
from God.
No, like let me understand. Which
I understand where you're coming from, but you see, there's in ethics, there's something called greater good.
okay, sure.
There's something you see. So ultimately, our actions must positively influence as many people as possible, and that is why I will go back to the point that
Okay.
if my actions will lead people to act in a way that are contrary to the standards of God, I would rather stay away from doing it in the open.
All right.
Because you see, people misrepresent people. You see, I may have a very positive intention of doing something. Like I said, I may take my girlfriend or somebody that I'm interested in to a restaurant or to a cool place and enjoy some good music and have a conversation with her at a certain time. And that may not mean anything negative. But you see, you need to be conscious of who is watching.
Is that not too much work?
It is.
Is it not?
But you see,
I mean, in as much as there'll be a toll on you, I mean, for the greater good, there are people you are leading. You must live exemplary life and all that. I feel like there's a point that whoever you are with also automatically gets to fall in that same view. And that is exactly my point, that there are ladies who do not have a problem dating Christian guys, but they think at a point you get to lose yourself. You know, because if me, Maxine, I want to put blue eyeshadow under my eyelid, and let it sparkle.
Yeah.
And I am with you, and we go out, and they're like, "Oh, Ken came with Maxine, and you see some blue eyeshadow." She's all looking, like yeah.
I know.
And so obviously it will get to you, and you give me feedback.
Yeah.
And then invariably, I'm looking at what can I do to make him happy, and I'm losing. And I think for me, that's one of the major problems I have encountered. That there are times that in your bid to present yourself in a certain way, you tend to lose yourself, and people do not want to lose themselves.
Yeah, I get it. Well, if you care to know,
Yeah.
a number of the times, if you ask Christian brothers why ladies refuse to be with them, it is because of this reason. You know, a lot of ladies will say that, hey, me, I can't play that as a for mommy role where I have to be in a cabin slate and I have to wear a duku and look a certain way and all of that. I mean, it's a problem. But you see, I think that society has a role to play in this whole thing.
Okay.
You see, we
Not the individual.
Sometimes the society plays a role.
Okay.
You see, we live in a society where people are very judgmental. Like I said, we live in a society where people judge based on what they see and they don't look at what is within or what's inside. And so people judge based on all of these things. And so if you're going to be very, very particular about what people say and how people behave and how people react to things, then obviously you're going to be concerned about things like this. And so as much as possible, I say that fundamentally, live a Christian life. And by living a Christian life, be as decent and as transparent as possible.
All right. So be as decent and transparent as you can. Now let's get back to, apart from we talking about the fact that you are boring and all that, there are people who are also of the opinion that, okay, so you're listening right now and have dated a Christian girl or a Christian guy, and you're particularly careful because it didn't go well and the relationship was damaging. I know that people who have had terrible experiences. Damaging. Oh, we thought he was a Christian. We thought he was this. I thought he could pray. And finally, like, oh, it wasn't even any of the things. Like we put you on a certain pedestal, and we expect
and
that.
Put a lot of pressure on us.
And it's not by force.
People must realize that we're human beings.
You never present to us that you are a human being. You are almighty. You are speaking in tongues. You don't have sexual drives. You can't certain things. So once you say it, like I'll tell you this, the first time I said yes to a guy was because he was a Christian guy, not knowing you have signed my death warrant. Because you see, there was a perception that, oh, because he's Christian, he won't bother you with sex. He's not talking, oh, he won't saw you move, he won't meow you. So, and it thought it was safe because then you had an agenda that if it's purity till marriage, oh, this is the guy for the job. Then only to realize that, oh, you have been scammed. What is it about we not being open and transparent about sexual drives? We don't talk about it.
And that's why I'm saying that these things are societal. They are social in nature.
No, can't
you
we
see, naturally in our home? How many parents talk to their children about sex? So you see, this is not an entirely Christian thing. It's about the society. It's about being about certain things, about certain topics.
All right.
You see, a lot of parents do not even feel that it is right to share these things with their children. It's a taboo to talk about sexual drive, to talk about sex at home.
But
and
Ken,
this is among siblings.
Like Ken, when you become an osofo, you talk about sexual drive.
Yes, you do.
You will talk about, when the topic is fornication,
yes,
you will give us the steps to avoid fornicating till we get married. But between you and that girl you like, you won't talk about it. Why? Why? No. That girl who gives you the shivers, you won't talk about it. Why? No.
You see,
why la?
You see, then I'll say that we need to be careful how we deal with relationships. You see, if you want to be with someone, I believe that you must be friends for over a certain period.
Okay.
Before you finally decide to commit to the person.
Yeah.
You see, and I personally think that one of the topics or one of the issues that you need to deal with before you even decide to commit to someone is sex.
So did you ever broach the subject up
I did.
with your girlfriend?
I did.
How deep did you go?
I did.
Sometimes when the issue
carefully deal with it.
No, when the issue about sex comes up, it's like we are not getting sex from me till we get married.
No.
And that's the first. I mean, you are just laying the foundation. But whatever, I mean, as long as it's cast in stone that once you say it, sexual drives will not arise. But we assume that this is the goal. No sex till we get married. But throughout the journey, I mean, why have we decided to cage all the sex drives and not talk about them and not being honest that when you come close, I get an erection. Can we stay off this room? Can we do this? Can we not say this? And you mean we don't get, I don't get it.
That's what I'm saying. That these things
I'm confused, my listeners.
That's what I'm saying, that these things start from the home. You see, if you have a friend, if you have a lady, a gentleman who naturally has conversations like this at home with his or his senior brothers, sisters, mother, father, aunties, uncles, then when they are talking about these things, they don't feel some way about it. But unfortunately, we push in Ghana, we push everything to call school, we teach a better role, sorry, or pastor better role. But I believe that as parents, as senior brothers and sisters at home, we have a duty to open up on some of these issues with our junior brothers and sisters, so that when they are having these conversations with their girlfriends or people that they are interested in, they'll be a bit more open and flexible about it. But if it's a taboo to talk about sex in the house, then it will be a taboo to talk about it with Martin.
Okay, so let's say we have not gotten beginning, no talk about it in the house, so we are deficient. I get it. Now you meet a girl you like. You know that, okay, this thing has a future. Can we build it gradually? So, okay, you are all towards building the thing. How easy or difficult is it to be very vulnerable? And that's one thing issue I have. I think there's a part of some Christian guys who do not want to appear vulnerable. You see, vulnerability is not on their sheets.
That's true.
Because he's praying in tongues, if he tells you he has an erection around you, it is a way of demeaning the fact that this man is an intercessor. And intercessors should be binding and casting and keeping sex drive in cage, when obviously that is not how to go. So how vulnerable are we with the people we really like? Were you vulnerable with your girlfriend?
To some extent, I try.
Oh.
I try to some extent. You see, like I'm saying, the problem with a lot of Christian guys that, like I said initially, there's a very thin line between being that creepy boy that everybody knows and being a social being as well. You see, and people struggle to deal with these two concepts, because if you don't manage it very well, the same person that you're trying to be very open to, the same person that you're trying to have these open conversations with, and this boy not knowing he's not spiritual like I thought, you know. And so people try as much as possible to put up a certain attitude so that they will always be seen as the intercessor or as that prayer warrior in church. You see, and it is all because sometimes if you are too open, like I'm saying, if you are too open, you will be considered as something else. Not knowing the guy is a demon crowd like me, but I thought he was an intercessor.
Yeah.
Just because you decided to be open and decided to be frank and have open conversations about things that are social in nature or sexual in nature.
Has it ever cost you, like your in your bid to be open, in your bid to be vulnerable? Has it cost you?
Personally, it hasn't, but I know that other people have suffered from that thing.
And so you've taken a cue?
Yes, other people have. Other people have said that, Charlie, this lady said that she was always interested in me because of my spiritual nature. But since I started being open, since I started inviting her for dinner dates and for, you think that, oh no, this isn't what I subscribe to. And so
I am here and I'm thinking, who is this one too?
Yeah, people have suffered from that faith.
So we are here and we are talking from the other side, because I think, okay, over the period, you meet them, they are boring, they are not enthusiastic, unattractive. It's not like they don't even want to explore other avenues. And is there a point that you think, okay, you've seen somebody you like and you're like, this is not what I bargained for?
Yes, we do.
And so when it happens like that, what you do?
You see, I personally hold a view that relationship. Well, this is in my personal opinion. I think it's public knowledge. Relationships. You know that when we're doing wedding ceremonies in the church, one of the charges that we were told is that relationships are not or marriages are not entered into unadvisedly. I believe that it is not just marriages, but even in relationships. And so, before you decide to be with someone, it must go through a certain process. In that process, these things has to be dealt with. You need to know the person. So you can't know everything about people, but the fundamental stuff, the basic things, the belief systems of the people, the family background, the likes and the dislikes of the people. You need to know them so that you can avoid the future shocks.
Okay.
A lot of people get into relationships after a month or two of knowing each other. You get into a relationship. Obviously, you will be hit by a lot of shocks. And so you need to get the basis right.
But aren't you guys too busy? You reading books, making references, writing notes, doing concordances. Your notes are always stuck in Bibles. How do you get time to do background?
If you find a person, whether male or female, who is very interested in you and really has good intentions and plans for and with you, and the person doesn't have time for you, that is an obvious red flag.
Oh,
I am telling you. Because
Ken, please tell my listeners how on a normal day your day is like. Tell them. Like you work for God. Tell us on a normal day.
This morning,
I
woke up around 5:30.
Okay.
And then by 6:30, I was in the chapel for devotion.
Okay.
Right after the devotion, I had to get ready. I took breakfast and then I got here into the studio.
Okay.
So when I am done with this, I am going back to the seminary to work on some papers.
Okay.
I am putting together some papers.
Okay.
For an essay that I am putting together. And so I may do that up till maybe late around 6. And then at 6:30 I go for another devotion. And then after that.
So my listeners, you can this is all the things Ken is doing this morning is all about him.
But
no, it's all about him.
There's a big but.
Okay, which is the but?
Because in between this whole cycle, I have spent some time to talk to my girlfriend.
You have?
I have.
So what time did you allot? I mean, what time specifically? Is it like 30 minutes every time to talk to her or?
No. And that is why I'm saying that when we become too official, you can be so busy. I mean, you can have a very busy schedule, but you must make time for the people that matter to you.
All right. So it's Random Thought with Maxine. This morning, I brought a friend here. I'm like, Ken, can we talk about why it's unattractive? Once the guy says, I love Jesus, I am crazy about the things of God, it's a no-no for some of us. For some of us too, ideally, we have had bad experiences with Christian guys. So we are like, Charlie, in my next world, there's no way I'm going to say a yes to a Christian guy because of A, B, and C. Are these misconceptions real? Can we change them over a period of time? Are the brothers still attractive people to settle with? Or do we think over the time they've just shrouded this whole brotherhood thing in hypocrisy that they tend to pretend? And so once you like them and you get into their space, then you get to realize who they really are. It's Random Thought with Maxine, and I'll be right back.
Radio, the #1 online Christian radio station. PenyGh, hope for the hopeless.
All right, so we are back. Now it's Krife or not Krife? You like or you don't like? Or we like them bad? What do you think? I mean, you're listening right now and you're thinking, oh, don't mind those Christian boys. They hide under these tongues and you give them the opportunity, they will mess you up. Simple cry. So this one, we're talking dating a Christian guy. Is it a deal for you? Is it something you will jump on and say, okay, he's Christian, I like? But you see, Ken, when something think about Christian dating. I think it's not attractive. There's no fire in it.
Well, you need to tell me your description or definition of fire.
Okay, so for example, I'm a fun-loving person. I want to have fun. I'm a Christian too, and per my standard, I know what my definition of fun should be. But as I said, looking at your itinerary, imagine you're my boyfriend. Write paper, do morning devotion, go to church. When can we boogie? When can we jo? Where can we catch some? No, not fun as in. Where can we do something more relaxing and not write books and not write assignments? How? Hey,
Maxine.
I should mark the assignments for you.
It's not. This is in.
So what do you do for fun? Like what do you do?
This is in our schedule every time.
Oh, it's not your schedule every time.
Yeah, there are some specific days that you get extra. You know, today is Wednesday.
Yeah, today is Wednesday.
Usually, a lot of churches have a lot of midweek activities.
Okay.
And so on a regular day, on a regular week, you would have busy Wednesdays.
Okay, sure.
For a lot of Christian brothers, they'll tell you that midweek, because it's a midweek, usually people have midweek services, people have noon meditations, people have evening Bible studies, and so Wednesdays are busy days for a lot of Christian brothers. But my Mondays are usually free. Mondays is an entirely off day for me.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm fortunate and I call them off seasons, then my Friday and my Saturday will be free as well.
Okay, so what you do for fun? If your Fridays are free and your Mondays are free, can we know? My listeners want to know.
Because I'm gone. I'm proper guy.
You are proper guy.
Proper guy. I like the beach.
You like the beach, okay?
I'm proper guy. So when I get close to water,
you like it, eh? You likes, okay. So that's what he does for fun. You are listening right now. You're thinking, when you were dating that Christian boy, the one who was blowing the tongues, what were you doing for fun? Can you tell us? Did you consider that as fun enough, or it was his definition of fun? So you like the beach. Maybe she doesn't like the beach, but she has to go with it. And maybe the beach too would become, can we say some short prayers? Can we share some short prayers as we are here before we get to the beach, so that we commit the atmosphere?
Bind and break.
Bind and break. Is it all about casting and binding?
It's not all about.
So tell us, what is it about there? What are we missing? For those of us who have closed our mind, is there something you are missing on the Christian brothers?
Yes, you're missing a lot.
What have we missed so far? Please fill us in.
You're missing a lot.
What are we missing?
To start with, like I said initially, you probably didn't meet the right Christian brother. You see,
Alice.
you can be very Christian,
Yeah.
and I can be very Christian, but we may not be good together. You see, what people talk about compatibility, it matters a lot.
So
you see, so the fact that you're Christian and I'm Christian does not automatically mean that we'll be good together.
But the fact that I'm Christian and he's an unbeliever, you tell me that I can't yoke with unbelievers. But it works, right? It does.
Well, if you want to look at it solely on compatibility, maybe it will work. But ultimately, is that the person you want to be with?
Sure.
Is that the person that will give you an opportunity to be as Christian as possible? You see, so those things you must ask yourself those questions. In as much as you want to have fun in a relationship, in as much as you want to be with someone that you love, in as much as you want to feel free and do all of the things that you want to do, you want to fundamentally ask yourself, as Christian, is this what I want? Will my relationship with the unbeliever give me an opportunity to be Christian as much as possible?
Okay.
That's where they fall short. And that's why you need to be careful. You need to be careful with the person that you choose to be with. There are lots of Christian brothers who will be as compatible with you as much as possible.
Really?
So you need to find that Christian brother.
So what do the unbelievers, those guys that we are dying over, those who make us tickle, what do they get right that you don't? Tell us.
Maxine, I don't think that's they get things.
Oh, they
right.
get it right. I mean, they talk to us and we are just feeling the vibe. They talk to us and it's not long talk. I like you, I like you. Let's do this, let's do this. This one, oh, have you eaten? Have you done morning devotion? No. Eating there. What because you see, if we are to assess and like sometimes we wonder, even in our church setting, we wonder how that bad boy got that good Christian girl. Dear no catch no.
Exactly.
What did and you are there, you are praying and say, shall we pray for our sister who is in the dungeons of the evil one? But sister too is enjoying the vibe. What? I mean, what? What are you not getting right? That the boy there is getting right.
Truth is, like I started by saying, I say Christian brothers, all the Christian brothers listening to me, being Christian is not a boring thing. Being Christian must not be boring. And for a lot of young people now, like I'm saying, we live within a society. We live in a society where social media is a common thing, where people have access to what other people are doing. I mean, we see what's fun. And so you must have fun in a godly way. Your having fun must not contradict your Christian principles and standards. You understand?
Yeah.
And so you can be very fun, you can be very loving, you can make quality time with your girlfriend or your girlfriend or fiancé, and you can do all of that in a very nice and a very pleasant way.
Okay.
I wish that we had a Christian sister here who enjoys a Christian brother so that she shares her thoughts.
Sure, I
that.
think one of these
I'm
days
sure-
I should find someone
I'm
like
sure
that.
There are a lot of Christian
Don't worry,
sisters
we'll
who
do
will
that.
tell you that this Christian brother is the best thing that ever happened to me.
I only enjoyed a Christian brother because he was on the other divide before he became. So he was funky underneath. But you see, you are a typical church boy. You grew up going to church morning to So you know, I am thinking, what vibe will you bring to the table that would make me think, okay, this is a
But
good
you see,
vibe.
even though I was born and raised by strict Christian parents,
Yeah.
and ensure that, I mean, I tell people that when I was growing up, I had a lot of, even though we go to church at least once a week and we stayed at home every day, I had a lot of church dresses more than what I had for my house.
Okay.
That's how strict our parents were with going to church. We had a lot of stuff for church and few stuff for the house. That's how we were raised. But beyond that, that approach that our parents had, we were in school.
Okay.
From primary school to we're in a boarding school, went to the university, and we saw other people. We saw other things. We saw children raised by different kinds of parents.
Yeah.
And so there must always be a balance. You should always find the balance.
Okay.
So in as much as you don't veer off your Christian principles, you must be. There's nothing wrong with going to the beach. There's nothing wrong with going to a restaurant or a cool place and enjoying some.
They don't take you to restaurants. They don't take you to anything. It's
So
all about prayer meeting and intercessory.
Well,
and I'm
Martin.
thinking, can we do lunch? You don't get to hear that.
So you need to find that Christian brother who will do the lunch.
They are all like I said. It's like there's a manual that you operate
that's-
with.
that-
It is like no. Tell me if I am wrong. I think I would have to get somebody here who has an experience to share, and then we can put this in perspective.
No, I'm not saying that we don't have Christian brothers who are strict and rigid.
But can I ask you a question? You know how it is like the way you are talking and all that. Somebody is thinking that your girlfriend is also like a representative of you, so to speak. You have similar qualities. She prays like you do, right?
No, like
She
I
blows tongues like you
No,
do.
like I do, no.
So what? You went the exact opposite.
No.
Ladies who appear in the maxi dress. You like the funky and the curvaceous one. True or false? Is she not funky?
She's Christian.
She's Christian.
She's Christian.
That's basics, right?
Yeah, she's
but
Christian.
apart from, I'm sure there were two girls who were spying you, and you chose her over the other girl because there's someone who is coming in Mami John dress, and there's the one who is coming all stylish. But you see, you like the stylish ones, don't you?
It's not always.
Eh?
It's not
Oh,
always.
it
That's not always
is.
the
It
case.
is.
That's not always the case.
Don't you see those of my mates now? You flaunt them and you know this is my wife.
This is also what I mean.
And you're like, damn, this is my wife. So we think that there are times we tend to appreciate what you bring to the table. And sometimes I feel you don't appreciate what the women bring to the table. And sometimes they just have to live an extended versions of your life. What do you think?
Well, you see, the nature of being a Christian leader, you see, your role as a Christian leader is quite prominent. And sometimes, if you are not even careful, everything that people know about you is based on what you do in church or what you do for God. And so that stands out a lot. And so one of the difficulties or one of the limitations or challenges that any lady who wants to be with a Christian, maybe a full-time Christian brother, if you want to be with a full-time Christian brother, one of the things that you have to deal with is the fact that you're dealing with somebody who is prominently seen in the public's eye as a pastor or as a Christian leader. And so you may have to adjust and deal with that, because that cannot be taken out of the equation if you want to be with a Christian
So to my
brother.
listeners, Ken is full-time
ministry. Full-time.
Please.
Ministry
And
full-time.
ministry full-time. When I met Ken, he was like corporate. He was working, and then he all of a sudden he says no, he wants to be a software. I say, hey, what happened? Or software. And so it's full-time ministry.
full-time.
So whoever the girlfriend is,
You have to deal with it.
you have to deal with it.
Yes, you
you
have
know,
to.
it's your lot.
Yes, you have to deal with it.
It's your lot.
And that's one thing that you must set those boundaries. You have to deal with it. You see, because right now, when I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking church, I'm thinking ministry, I'm thinking of a sheep that I need to call, I'm thinking of what I will be preaching on Sunday or what I will be preaching during mid, what I'll be teaching. So that's my lifestyle now. It's like a banker or a doctor who's thinking of a patient or who's thinking of balancing. That's my life now. And so if you choose to be with a Christian brother who is doing ministry on a full-time basis, then you must psych yourself up to deal with it.
All right. So the ministry thing too is a different wahala on its own.
Yeah.
And it comes with its own set of problems and challenges. But whatever it is,
Like any other
profession and all that. We'll be right back. I'll take a break and then we'll be right back. So welcome back. This morning I want to shake some tables. I've already started my work and I think I'm getting the response thanks to Ken. We are like, okay, I come here and they're like, you're lambasting and talking and these Christian brothers are fake and they are, and it's like, it's out of experience. And so if I have misconceptions, can I get somebody, and you are listening right now and you also have misconceptions and you're like, once I see Christian tag, Otelo, I'm gone. There is no way I'm going to mess around with such a person. But this morning, we're like, okay, on the show, we learn and unlearn. There are some misconceptions we've held on to over a period. Can we drop them by way of getting information across? Can we re-strategize? As we have said, we already talked about how boring they are, what they can do to make their life more fun. And then we are talking about, is there something that the girl out there or the woman out there, and it's February, you're looking for love, and there's this Christian brother who is pursuing you with a love. Like, you are listening right now. We do want to, have we succeeded in letting you think that, okay, I have to find the right one who I gel with and all that. Ken, how easy or difficult was it for you settling on a girl?
It was a daunting task.
Oh, tell us about the task.
It was a daunting one.
Okay.
Because you see, we'll go back to being Christian. See, because I believe that I am Christian, and like you indicated earlier, a Christian is not just anybody. A Christian lives by a certain standard. A Christian lives by principles. Christian lives by the teachings of the Bible, teachings that from the Bible. And so you needed to satisfy those Christian principles and standards that you uphold or cherish so dearly. Beyond that, you come from the family, and you want to be sure that whoever you choose to be with will be received and accepted by the family as well. You see, so in choosing someone for myself, I needed to consider all of these things and make sure that who I ended up with will satisfy or meet all of these standards.
Hey, those are high standards.
Well, they're not high standards.
Please, whoever the
I'm not
lady is,
even
can we clap
so
for
I'm
her?
not even talking about.
She-
I'm not even talking
she
about
made the list.
I'm not saying that the lady must be this 6 feet tall. The lady must be. No, those are
No,
not the things.
but they are-
I'm simply talking about. I'm simply talking about a lady that is Christian as much as possible, and a lady that's your family, because at a certain stage in your life, you don't want to be in a relationship with someone and then after some time you end and go and start another one.
But it didn't work, so you end.
Yes, so but if you can deal with
If it didn't work,
but
you
if
end.
but if you can deal with reducing the number of times that it didn't work and you start all over again,
You need a
then you
margin of
get it
error.
right.
Okay.
And that is why I said that you must be thorough
Okay.
before you decide to be with someone. I think one of the challenges that a lot of young people are dealing with now is that we are too in a hurry to bounce or to start a new relationship.
Yeah.
It looks like for some people, being single, dealing with themselves, working on themselves over a period of time is a taboo for them.
They
So
can't.
once you end a relationship, you have to at all costs start a new one. But I believe that if you end a relationship, you must heal your wounds.
Properly.
You must put yourself in a position where you are ready for a new one. You must learn to know the ways of whoever you want to be with over a period. You must be able to visit the person's home once or twice to see how he handles stuff, how his parents will relate with you, and all of those things before you jump onto a new relationship. And so for me, that's simply what I did.
Okay.
I had make sure that this lady won't worry the ministry, won't worry my work, and then my family will also be interested. in
Okay,
someone
so
like that.
we have a comment here. This from Uti Apia Andy, and he says, "Solid discussion. All the best, guys." Hi, Andy. Thank you so
Andy.
much. Yeah, and somebody just sent a question and said, "Why are the Christian boys and girls not for real?"
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
I guess he's talking about the hypocrisy thing
Yeah.
that we spoke about earlier.
like they are not for real. And
yeah.
so I shared this with you. I met this guy. You know how it is like when you have done things for God, and from nowhere somebody comes and they are like, they fall back. So I've met guys like that. They've been crazy about the things of God, and then they just fall along. And they tell you as it is. For me, that's it. They tell you as it is. Oh, you're looking nice. It's not. I'm a Jimbonia Bamichim. And I know, okay, I have today. Yeah. But you see, you are with this Christian guy. He has seen Christ. He said he has not seen it. No, he has seen like you did from. He has not seen it. And we have, over the period, it's unfortunate I'm saying this, apologize for things we have not done. Sometimes you think you are demonized because you think, oh, I was the one who caused this. But you see, it's mutual. And we have taken up blames we shouldn't have. We have gone into our closet and think, oh, since I came to his life, I have reduced his anointing. When he likes that thing, but just that he's just making you feel like, and there's always a burden of guilt that is shifted on the other party. Why is it like that?
Maxine,
Why?
let me say this. Look, I don't think that you choose anybody to be your friend.
Sure.
You choose people who are like-minded, people who share in your vision, people who share in your thoughts, people who think, behave, and act like you. I mean, look, even when we go to schools, when you go to a new school, you see that within a period of a week, you have made some friends. This group of people are working with these people, and you wonder whether they knew each other from some. They didn't know each other, but within a short period, you are able to tell that based on this conversation that I had with this person, based on this person's reaction, I will flow with this person. That's how. So if you're going to be with someone, you're Christian, and you're going to be with someone who doesn't share in the things that excites you, then even though he's Christian, he's not for you.
Please say that again.
You see, because you can be. I'm saying that being Christian. Let me repeat it. Being Christian is not a boring venture, because the Jesus Christ that we say that we are following was not a boring person. You see, so there are ladies that are also boring.
Sure.
And they will be interested in guys who are straight and are boring like that. So those people are meant for
Boring means boring.
Maybe
Fun
the two-
means fun.
Yes, maybe
Sure.
the two
We go together, yeah.
We go together, and that's something. So you need to find a Christian brother who is Christian and fun to be with, because obviously you are interested
Sure.
in a godly way.
Yeah, in a
Having
godly,
fun.
yeah.
I mean, when we talk about having fun, like you must have fun in a manner that you will not bend the rules.
Yeah.
You see, you must have fun in a way that you will not bend the rules. And so if you find a Christian brother who is godly to the core, but is not boring, then you're good to go.
Okay, so Ken is an example now that we are probably using for our discussion, because
Become a case study.
case study, good, so that we can always say that per the sessions we had some time back, they are boring, unattractive, and all that. And there's one thing I want to say. People think you hide under the whole guise of I want to be in ministry, and you're lousy, you're lazy, you do not want to fend for your... I don't know if you've ever had that impression that somebody tells you that, oh, why are you into ministry? What does he do? And say, oh, he's into ministry. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so let me share this story with you.
Okay, sure.
My senior brother is in ministry too. Yeah, my senior brother, and he pastors a church on the University of Ghana campus. And there was a time that he invited me to minister on campus. I mean, with the students. Usually, occasionally, I get the opportunity to do stuff with them. And then one of the elders of the church, he said this in Ghana. He said, "Hey, mini nyon so for so nya ba.
Yeah.
And it got to me.
It will get to you.
It got to me. But my brother gave her a response that I thought it was rude, but he said he was sending a message. My brother took his time and he told her, no, it was a him, a church, a male. He told him what I was doing before I came into ministry. And I felt that he gave the man too much
information.
too
Yeah.
much, right?
Yeah.
But he said that he did that on purpose. Because if he didn't do that, the man would have thought that went to ministry because we want to find food to eat. But by the grace of God, I was doing something before this. I was doing something, and I was comfortable. I was okay. I was fine. And I told people that maybe, but for ministry, I would have been doing, in terms of financially, I would have been even more sound.
Okay, sure.
I would have been more sound. You know, we're not into this. And don't get it wrong. Any lazy pastor, there's a question mark on any lazy pastor. It takes a lot to be a pastor or to be a shepherd. If you care to know, Maxine, sometimes it takes me more than 3 days to prepare a 30-minute sermon.
Wow.
Yes. Because I want to get it right. I want to be sound theologically. I want to meet the needs of the people. I don't want to preach abstract sermons. And you're given a text that was written 2,000 years ago, and you must situate it within the current context. And so it must be done in a certain way. It takes a lot of hard work. And so even though we come to church twice or 3 times a week, I'm a pastor every single day in my life. And that's full-time work.
So the whole perception, like, oh, they are lazy, they're just lousy. I mean, they just want to hide under the guise of ministry.
It is because they see you preach 30 minutes a week. They see you come to church on Sunday, you come and preach for 30 minutes or 25 minutes, and that's it. That's all they see. But they don't know the work that goes into preparing that simple message. That's it. And strangely, I don't know whether, but sometimes some of these people that think they're being, sometimes even when you call them in church to lead opening prayer or to do, they struggle, they fumble.
They will say that one is your work. It's your work. It is your calling. You were called to do this.
You see?
Yeah, you were called.
Because it's difficult. Because if it was an easy thing, even though you're not an accountant, if you're asked to count money and to record 5 CD, you've got 3 of them, 2 CD, you got. Even though you're not an accountant, you can simply do it because that takes just a little common sense to do it.
Yeah.
So it is not about being my work. It is because it is a difficult thing to do.
Is there a point that you thought, no, there's no way I'm going to apologize for being a Christian? If you like me, you like me. If you don't like me.
I took that decision some time ago.
Okay.
And it was at that time that I left the corporate world for ministry.
Okay.
Because when I was doing corporate, I was, that I used to do ministry on the side. I used to do some outreach stuff. I used to do some youth ministry things here and there. But I noticed that my schedule in the office did not allow me to do as much as
I wanted
to do.
Okay.
And so I decided that, look, it cost me something. My family were not interested at the point. They felt that I was doing well corporately.
Done.
Yes, and they felt that I had a good opportunity to even make it big after some time, because they felt that they saw my dedication and commitment with my work. And they felt that given the opportunity, I would grow fast within the corporate world. But I said, no, at this point, God wants me to do this, and I don't care what you think. I have to do this for God.
Okay.
And I haven't regretted since.
All right. So there are times that you think, did I make the right decision? Will she like me? When times get hard and I can't put food on the table, and we can't do all the plush restaurant. I can't get all the nice bags for her. Will she still stick on her? Do you have such fears hanging around?
Yes. It's something that we deal with on a daily basis because being in ministry is not always rosy. There are times that you barely have something.
Sure. Say that thing well. You don't have cash.
You barely have something. But that's where communication and being transparent comes in. And so the lady doesn't have too much expectations of me. You see, you must be as open and as frank as possible when you're starting a relationship with the person. At this stage, at a point when you have so much, she must know. So that when you're enjoying with her, she knows actually now the thing comes, so let's enjoy it together. But it won't always be like this. That we may not have so much.
So is there a point that somebody thought, okay, I understand him, he's in ministry, the money will not come as I expected, I can do this with him. And then along the line, you're like, no, this is a wrong bargain.
Yeah, it happens.
And no, I can't do this.
Yes.
You had an experience like that?
Well, so
the person's like, no, I thought I could do this. But me and I'm kind of
So I haven't had that experience, but people have. My friends share their experience with me. I have a friend who is dating a relatively younger person. Okay. And he's always dealing with one issue or the other. And we will tease him and say that, Charlie, the lady is too young to understand some of the things that she are dealing with. Yeah, but people go through it. People go, they feel that. And you see, it is because for a lot of you ladies, you are interested in seeing a guy, he's holding a microphone, he's leading people to do the MFA. Then you're excited.
Oh, MFA?
Yes.
People die to see you in microphone.
Yes. For a lot of, so though you do a sample of 10 ladies.
10 ladies church
ladies who are into church guys, who are into pastors.
Okay.
They will tell you that the fact that he speaks well, he has good command over the language, he has in-depth knowledge of the scriptures, he makes us laugh. When he's preaching, I feel something. Yeah.
And so here I was thinking that, your market's no good at all.
But see, there are times that you'll be sharing the message, and there are times that I'll be standing in front of people, you'll be preaching. And then when you look at the congregation, there are some people, I don't know, but with me, I am able to tell the people that are
soaking in the
thing, and
proper.
People who are simply admiring you.
No, this gave me a good laugh. So here I was thinking that the market for the church crusade guys,
You have
but
no
the church
idea.
girls are like, I hear they are dying.
You have no idea.
I don't.
You have no idea. There's some people that when you can look at them and you can tell that this one, she's not soaking the message. Oh.
No,
it's your mannerisms, it's your command over the language, it's your jokes, it's your stories, it's your personality. She's simply admiring the person and not the message that you're bringing.
Okay.
Yes, you have a lot of that. And so strangely, some ladies who do not want to be with Christian guys decide not to be with Christian guys because they can't deal with the pressure of having all the other girls around you.
That one.
Yeah.
I think it's too much work for me. For me, I'm an attention freak. And so, if you have closed your sermon, close and let's go home.
You see?
Now you are coming to greet Amma and greet Kwejo and greet all and sometimes you can't just. But you see, I think that's a point that most often than not, the brothers get it wrong. You are all interested in all other things concerning everybody. But your own. Yeah. That's why I have the challenge. So when we close, you want to talk to all other people. Maybe I've been sitting in the car waiting for the next 30 minutes. I have sacrificed the whole week of not seeing you. And then you want to, I'm sorry, okay. This is our work. And that's the point. Where are you able to strike a balance between ministry, dating, projection, marriage, family life, sex life? That's why I find the niche that is always not there. How difficult is it?
It is a difficult thing. Because
has your girlfriend ever complained?
It was one of the things that she was concerned about when we were starting. She felt that she couldn't deal with sharing me with the rest of the church.
But you will have to share.
but I think that it takes a lot of discipline.
Sure.
One of the things that I do is that at a certain time, I don't answer strange calls.
Okay.
At a certain time, I believe that I need to share the time with family, with myself and with friends.
Okay.
And so I put ministry on hold. In inverted commas.
Sure.
Yeah, so that I can spend some time with family.
Yeah.
And this goes even beyond the one that you're with. Even your siblings, your parents, your aunties. You need to make time for everyone, and so you must always find time.
Okay.
And that's why I said to you from the start that Mondays are my off days. On Mondays, if you want to give me a program, if you want me to go and do something for you, I will give you an excuse. I will tell you I'm busy. Because on Mondays I need to spend time with myself. Because most of the time from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's like a marathon. So by Monday you're broken. And so you need to spend time with yourself. You need to spend time with the people that are close and that matter to you. I mean, relationship, friends, family. Spend some time with them. And that is the way. I believe that there must always be a point where you have to pause with ministry.
Okay.
But people say that even God rested on the seventh day. You need that.
Okay.
Everybody needs that.
All right. So it's been random start with Maxine. We've done close like how many minutes have we done? An hour. So we've been talking for an hour already. And thank you so much for all those who tune in. Thank you, Ken, for your time. And this morning we're talking, if you had the option of dating a Christian guy, will you take that offer? Is it a deal for you? Is it a no deal for you? For some of us, it has been a no deal. Don't know when it will change. But you see, I always say this. When you hear from God and it's like, go for him, you can't do any other thing but to comply. And look at what makes you happy. I like what Ken said. If this is a Christian guy who's going to make your life better and not hide under the guise of you're no stuck in Bible and you can't do all other things, it's okay. But do you have personal experiences? Has it been good for you? Do you ever regret dating a Christian brother or sister? Are the issues that we brought to the fore, are there things you can easily relate? Are they relatable? Are the Christian brothers dateable? Or it's too much work? It's too much prayer? It's too much kabe? or you think that there's something that they can do to get it right. I'm sure we've answered most of your questions, your doubts, your misconceptions, and now you know how it is. We can learn and unlearn. I want to say a thank you to Ken. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Sure.
It's been a great time with you.
Thank you so much. I've been pulling him like that. Like we have been scheduling and rescheduling and all that. But today, thanks, we have him here and I had a fruitful discussion. I'll bring him back again when he has time. And then probably we'll do an extended version of this, still set up in the church environment. And all your questions, you can bombard him with it, because now it feels like me have taken an entrenched position, which is not like that.
Oh,
you know. No, me, I'm
you.
talking to myself.
Oh.
But I trust you had a good time, and thank you so much for allowing us time to invade your homes, your offices, and all with our talk. It's been random. Please take good care of yourself. Please say a prayer for me. Say a prayer for the person you love, for everybody. And I'll see you, God willing, on Monday with another edition. It's been Random Thought with Maxine, and it's a bye. Bye.